All right, our next story is our COVID five fast facts. Jennifer, I think what we do is just keep doing the back and forth thing, and you went last, so I'll go first again. I'm going
Yeah,
to start off with good news. The good news is that new cases and hospitalizations are down across the United States. Officials believe that what's happening is the surge that we had because of Thanksgiving and Christmas, and people going, "Yeah, I'm going to get on an airplane. I don't care what the government. You can't tell me what to do." Yeah, that surge is coming to an end. We peaked at 137,000 people in the hospital. We're now down to 107 people. 107,000, 107 would be wonderful. 107,000 people in the hospital. Newly detected cases are down in every metro area in the United States. So that is something also to be very happy about. However, that improvement's figured to be short lived. And you can take us to the next reason why.
yeah. Well, first I was going to complain because there's no page numbers on our news notes, and then I looked down and I was like, "Oh, there they are. Maybe I should put on my glasses." But here we are, and I don't have them. So, the UK variant has been detected in multiple locations along the West Coast, and now the South African variant has been detected in South Carolina. The two people who tested positive have not traveled, not been around anyone from South Africa, which indicates the disease is community spread. This is particularly problematic because, as we've talked about, the South African strain has those protein mutations they worry about that make the antibody treatment and potentially the vaccine not effective.
Yay!
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we'll keep on going there. The Biden administration has reached an agreement to purchase 200 million doses of COVID vaccine. There is no word in that agreement if those doses will come in time to help the Biden administration achieve their goal of 100 million people vaccinated in the first 100 days as president. And that, Jennifer, is something that we will be holding Joe Biden's feet to the fire on. I held Donald Trump's feet to the fire on COVID promises. I'm going to hold Biden's feet to the fire on COVID's promises.
Yeah, absolutely. And they need to be because words don't mean anything without action behind them, right?
No, absolutely. You have a really feel good story.
Yes, I like this one. So in Oregon, snowbound officials with soon to be expiring doses of COVID vaccine took matters into their own hands. Stuck on a snow choked road, they rallied others who were also stuck to offer an on the spot winter vaccination clinic versus just letting the doses spoil. On the subject of spoil, oh, wait, I think you maybe didn't have a bullet point there. So we're just gonna stop there. But yeah, this is actually a great story because here they are stuck on the road in the middle of a snowstorm, and I feel like it's maybe near Grants Pass. And so they have all these vaccines, and so they just get out and start giving them to people who are stuck on the road with them instead of letting them go to waste.
It's a great story, and one of the things that juxtaposes, we've heard so many stories, we've read so many stories, Jennifer, of doses that are just getting wasted because
Yeah.
people are so caught up in the bureaucracy of it, right? And they're just like, well, but this says that, it's like, well, there's people outside who want to get the thing, and the vaccination, and the people who said they were coming didn't show up, and they're like, well, we should just vaccinate them. No, 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 you have to throw those vaccinations out, and it just,
It's infuriating.
yep.
So this is a great thing. We were talking a little bit on chat though that the only problem with that is like or hospitals, or think it was chat, or I was talking to somebody else. Hospitals are such sticklers. Like if you didn't get your first vaccine here, don't come to us. So I don't know how did they give them paperwork to verify that they'd received the first vaccine? How is that going to work in the context of receiving the second one? That's my question.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that for some states and some municipalities, counties across the United States, there are real concerns on if they're going to have enough second doses, and can they mix and match vaccines? And, there's some sides that are arguing that, maybe one's good enough. And then there's some that's like, well, maybe you need three for some of these variants. And I know some people are like, see, it's, that feeds the tinfoil hat crowd. It's like, how much have we known about COVID? We know a year's worth, and think about how long it took us to figure out AIDS, as an example. One more story, which is an inglorious milestone. The state of North Dakota has the opportunity to be possibly the first state in the United States to reach herd immunity, and they are going to achieve that because over 60% of the population of North Dakota has been exposed to COVID because they dragged their feet so long in doing anything.
Wow. So you basically established a degree of herd immunity by neglect. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's basically it. And it's particularly shameful for North Dakota because it is such a rural, distributed out state. If there's a place where like isolating would be pretty easy,
Yeah.
North Dakota in October, November, December, pretty easy state to isolate in.
Yeah, and that also sets a dangerous precedent for people to make arguments like, well, they achieved herd immunity by just letting shit go in North Dakota. Maybe we should do the same thing here, because you know that argument's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely. All right.